Hey, thank you. So my name is Youssef, and this is my global action plan. And some background information. Organized sports are a major part of the Canadian culture, yet thousands of kids do not participate. There's been a decline in boys participating in organized sports from 66% to 56%, and girls has changed from 49% to 45%. And this is according to Stats Canada. Participation has declined due to financial and family reasons, such as divorce and financial hardship. And registrations fees are now on average $270, and the prices have increased due to operational expenses by the soccer clubs. Sports are a great way for people to get to meet other people that are passionate about the same sport. It's also good for the well-being of the person, both mentally and physically. It's a great way to reduce stress and meet new people. So, my goal is to partner up with soccer clubs such as Oakville and Mississauga Soccer Club to create a fundraiser and soccer tournament that allows kids to participate even if they can't afford it, and by providing fund and equipment to families in need. So, some personal background. I've grown up around sports, both playing and watching. My favorite sport is soccer, and I closely follow the game. I believe my participation in sports at a young age has shaped me to the man I am today. So I've created a 5-year plan that hopefully will be a success. So the first year, I'll be going to Western University, and I'll be in the business and aviation program they have there. And I also plan on joining Right to Play. It's a club at Western, and this organization helps kids in poverty overcome the effects through playing sports. Joining this club will allow me to learn the logistics and marketing of organizing an event. Also learning how to communicate with families that are in need without offending them is vital to my global action plan. As members of Right to Play are directly involved in Africa, Asia, the Middle East, and South America, they have vast experience and knowledge, and this will be a great source of information and advice for me throughout my years at Western. They have vast experience in many different cultures, and this is really important as Canada also has a diverse population. So my second year, I plan on remaining with the club at Western and to expand my knowledge and social networking. Expanding my network will allow me to be supported when my fundraising and tournament are in effect. And this year will be the very first fundraiser and soccer tournament that I'm going to plan with the help of Oakville and Mississauga Soccer Club. This event will take place in Oakville as there are more fields that could support the event. I plan to use my and the soccer club's network to spread the word around and get people involved and interested. In order to participate in the tournament, each player will have to pay a fee of $10, but extra money and equipment donations are extremely encouraged to raise as much as possible. There will also be snacks throughout the day and drinks that will contribute to the money that is donated. The money collected will go to families in need, and there will be an application where families can apply for the fees being paid for them or some equipment. And this decision will be made by myself, the executive director and financial manager of the Oakville and Mississauga Soccer Club. So on to my third year. I will still be at the Right to Play Club at Western, and this will be my second year running the fundraiser. Hopefully the people that participated last year enjoyed it and it was a big success, and they'll come back the next year and bring family and friends, members along with them. This year I'll also try to include people from the Right to Play Club to get involved as my network from the club gets bigger. I plan on also getting involved more in the club and take on more responsibility within the club. For example, any events run by the club, I'd like to be more in charge in the decision and organization process. And also I'd like to help promote the club throughout the school in order to get more people behind the cause. Getting people from Right to Play involved with their experience and connection, the event will attract more people and it will lead to more families being helped. In the second year, the fundraiser will stay the same, such as the admission fee, the snacks will also remain, and the donation boxes. And on to my fourth year. Fourth year will be my last year at Western, and I still plan to be in Right to Play. And this is going to be the third year the event is run, and I still plan to run the event the same way. And I think my connection and experience as they have grown throughout the years I'm at Western will help grow the event and have a bigger outcome. Therefore, like, more families will be helped. So the fifth year, I'll be moving back to Egypt, and I plan to implement my gap in Egypt. It will be a great challenge implementing my goal in Egypt, but I'm confident it will be a success. I'll keep the application process the same for families that are in need of some financial aid. Also, I will leave the snacks and donation boxes for all the equipment. And the fundraiser is going to take place in Alexandria Soccer Club. It's a club where I grew up playing squash, diving, soccer, and a lot of sports. And I still go there and play soccer every weekend with my friends. I plan on using my connections there to rent, because in Egypt it's different. You have to rent out the soccer field. But as I have connections in Oakville Soccer Club, I will be able to promote and rent the fields for free. That saying, I'll be returning to Egypt, but I still plan to commit to Oakville Soccer Club and Mississauga Soccer Club because they are looking for a long-term relationship, and I'm also excited to continue working with them throughout the years. So I will return once a year, at least once a year, to Oakville and run the fundraiser and tournament again. And that's it.
Thanks,
Any questions?
Much of your plan relies on you joining Right to Play and staying with Right to Play at Western. Have you thought about any strategies if the club isn't what you expected, or if it's not running, if it's not helping your global action plan as you expected?
I'm using Right to Play also as kind of a platform for me to gain experience and knowledge, because people at the club obviously have a lot of that, and I'm using it mainly to kind of get my fundraiser and tournament going. But I don't think it is vital for my gap. But I don't think if like the Right to Play club doesn't turn out as what it's to be, I don't think it's going to affect my gap as much. I think it might take longer for me to start the fundraiser and tournament. Maybe I won't start in the second year. Maybe I'll start third year and get more involved with the Mississauga and Oakville Soccer Club. It might just take longer because I wouldn't have that experience I would have gained from the club.
And what challenges do you anticipate with your plan?
Some challenges is getting the word out there and actually getting the fundraiser going with the Oakville and Mississauga Soccer Club, because I know they're really busy all year round, and that might be a challenge, like getting meetings and like finding the time. So yeah, especially time, because I'll be like at Western, I'm not going to be at Oakville, so time is essential.
I have a couple of questions. In terms of the tournament players, do you anticipate it being a kids tournament, like kids are playing in it, or would it be adults who are buying in to play to raise money for kids in need?
It's going to be mainly, I was thinking of 5 versus 5 game for the younger kids, because obviously like the soccer fields are big, and that's what you do for younger kids. It's like smaller game, shorter period. But it's not the parents that are paying for them going, it's paying for their kid to actually participate, and I don't think $10 is such a big fee. I think almost all the families can afford to pay $10, and it's mainly going to be for kids, but also if we get a big turnout for teenagers, that Oakville has the capacity to also play the teenagers.
Okay, that's great. And in terms, sticking with kids, would your intention be to support the same kids sort of year after year in an ideal situation?
It would probably not. It all depends on how many people apply, like actually do the application. But it all depends on like if they reapply for it. If, for example, they might reapply, but there are other families that are in need more, so priority would go to them.
So probably finding a balance between building sustainable relationships, but also, you know, filtering the funds to those most in need.
I also plan to like going and volunteering, playing with the kids, see how it's going. If they're enjoying it, I've done that before, and it's really fun. Just like seeing the kids and have a good time and just play.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because you mentioned it in your written report, and I think given your background in sports and love of sports and the leadership opportunities you've had through like, you know, Temagami and whatnot, you have a skill set there for coaching and mentoring that I hope you make use of. Any other questions?
Have you considered even further into the future how this could evolve? So you said you want to come back every year to Oakville, but how do you see this evolving to be something else entirely?
I think in the future I would like to kind of more doing it independently. I will still like include Oakville and Mississauga Soccer Club, but they won't be as involved. I plan on like taking more leadership and running the entire thing on my own, but also like having their help, like having volunteers sign up and all that. But running it on my own will be like my main goal further in the future. I think it'll be a lot harder in like the next 5 years, so it's going to be beyond that. I'll also still like include the soccer clubs because that's where the kids are actually going to go and participate. So the fees will be directly paid to them. It's also great for the clubs because it's a way to promote themselves within the GTA because it's going to show that they care about like the people, the kids, and like they're trying to help and all that. So it's going to benefit me and the soccer club and obviously the kids.
I think one thing that came up in another person's presentation that I think is applicable to you as well, there might be kids that aren't currently accessing these soccer clubs because of that financial barrier. So also be in contact, whether it's like YMCA, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, organizations that exist to sort of support kids who are already in that situation. So maybe just in terms of the thinking down the road, that could become part of it as well. And then my other comment would be, given that you know right off the bat that you're returning to Egypt, but if you've got a good thing going, then really think about mentoring and who you can pass off to be your primary person in Oakville, Mississauga, years beyond. Which I think it's just something to have on your radar as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Any questions? Anyone in the audience have any questions for Youssef? All right. Thanks very much, Youssef.
Thank you.